this is Renee, and welcome to my own little world. Today, as you can see, I have nothing on my desk, because today is going to be kind of a different video from what I usually do, because today is going to be my first collab. Yay! And this collab is with Dancing Dann.
Hi guys, my name is Danny, and if you guys don't know me, I have a channel called Dancing Dann, on which I post loads and loads of K-pop related stuff, both personal stuff and also like top 100s, most viewed videos, best videos, etc, etc. So if you would like it, please come follow me.
In this video, we're going to both show you our favorite albums of different K-pop artists and K-pop groups, and we're kind of going to compare, because even though we both like K-pop for about a few years now, our music taste is still very much different from each other. We're going to be talking about 10 different K-pop artists slash groups each, and we're going to divide them in 2 videos. Let's go and let's start with the video. Okay, this is an old school album, but hear me out. I have been a K-pop stan since 2013, so this was one of the first artists that I listened to, and I still have a lot of respect for this artist. As you can see, it's G-Dragon, and I've seen him live, and it made me fall in love with him even more, because he is such a cool artist. He's not just a singer, he's not just a rapper, he is an artist, and you can see it through not only his music but his style and the things he creates. He's just such a creative person, and he deserves a lot of credit, in my opinion. I really like him, and this is the album One of a Kind. I really love this packaging because it looks like a Bible and I mean, I also listen to it religiously, so it makes sense to me. It doesn't have a photo book, but it has loose photos that you can put on your wall, and I have my favorite ones up on my wall. This comes off. It's very hard to put it back in here, so that will be fun later. It doesn't have a booklet, it's just like a thing you can fold out, and it doesn't even fit in frame. But here are the tracks on the album. I really love Crayon. I love the colorfulness of this video, and it's just such a fun video. I really love this album. It brings back so much memories for me as a K-pop fan. I hope he has a comeback soon, because I miss him. I miss just Big Bang in general, but I miss G-Dragon and his style and his music. Also, I mean, look at his style, look at his makeup. He's just iconic. What more can I say? So yeah. But we went to his concert. When I refer to we, I always mean Dancing Dan and I, because we both like K-pop, and we're basically the only ones in our friend group. We go to basically every concert together. Well, most of the concerts together. But we went to G-Dragon's concert, and it was so cool. It was amazing. I loved the whole vibe that was just going on there. And it was also my first K-pop concert that I went to ever, I think. And it's just such an experience, and I really love it.
So first of all, we got one of my top favorite groups. I honestly love them so much. I have pretty much all of their albums. They're a pretty new group still, and I would say they're super underrated. But yeah, honestly, when I was choosing my favorite albums, it was so hard because I own so many albums, and I also own all of them. I was kind of debating to choose Adventures in Wonderland, which is their first album, because I've been standing them since the very beginning. But I decided to choose this one because I feel like on the cover really made them blow up a little bit. I mean, they're still pretty underrated, a lot underrated, I feel like, which is so sad to me because they are the full package to me. They are super talented. I was kind of debating to choose the first album because the first mini album includes the first 3 title tracks, and I've loved them ever since their first title track, so I was kind of thinking it is more significant to me, especially since the album is now out of print. I'm so happy I got it when it was still in print, but I feel like On the Cover is definitely one of my top favorite songs. I would say the latest title track I like a little more, I guess, but this concept is definitely my favorite. They all look so amazing in this photo book. Honestly, all of their albums have the same like packaging, which is kind of simple, more just a book. Honestly, it's my favorite kind of packaging. It doesn't have a lot of pages, which I typically like a thick photo book, like thick. But honestly, this album is probably my favorite just because I love every single song on the album. It is a mini album, so it only has 4 songs. But those 4 songs are amazing. Look at them. They look so good. Like I said, this is my favorite concept for them. They look absolutely amazing. I think this comeback really showed how talented they were. And I feel like a lot of other YouTubers I watch kind of started standing them this era. Like I said, I stand them even before they debuted. I saw their cover of Blackpink's Playing With Fire and Stay, and that was the reason I fell in love with them. So last year, I actually got to see them in concert in my country. I asked my friend, would you like to go to A.C.E with me? And she never even listened to the music, she never really heard of them. And then I showed her and she was not really into it, I feel like. I'm talking like this is my channel, but I'm actually talking about Renee. Like, she wasn't really into it. I know you're gonna watch this, so sorry to talk about you on your own channel. But yeah, I feel like she wasn't really into it, and then after the concert, she fell in love with them. Oh my god, during the concert we were so close to them, and she was so into it, and then ever since she's also standing them. And it always makes me so happy to help other people stand groups. So like I said, this is my favorite album. Do It Like Me is probably even my favorite, like more than the title track. Do It Like Me is above. So on the cover, and Mr. Bass, and I don't know the English title anymore. It's really slipping my mind, but I love literally every single song. Star is still my favorite song. Like, I was kind of debating, like I said, to pick the first mini, because it also includes Star, but it's only the 4 of them. Because Chen was in another group at that time, so there was only 4 of them, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I chose this album. So I actually took out my CD, because I take out all of my CDs to listen to them more easily. I honestly love simple packaging. I also collect photo cards, so I am collecting my bias June. I just love him so much. I love their personalities, I love their talent, I love that they always harmonize in their covers and their songs. I feel like harmonizing is something that not a lot of groups actually do. So I really appreciate them. I feel like every single one of them could be a main vocalist in another group. They're that talented, they're amazing dancers, and I feel like a lot more people should appreciate them. And I don't know, I just love them so much.
To my next one. This is also an old school K-pop group. It is SHINee, and I love this album. I love this album so much that I listened to it for weeks on weeks on weeks, and it's just the music video of Married to the Music was my favorite music video. I think it's still my favorite music video, and even though they're not with 5 people anymore, I still really love them and I love their style, and I feel like they haven't lost their style even though everything that has happened. They didn't lose their style, and they're just such great artists. This packaging is more of a simpler style, which I can appreciate. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a simpler style. They don't have to be big albums all the time. I mean, I love the photo shoots as well. They're just so cool to see. And honestly, the first line in the song is just iconic. I mean, SHINee just carrying Junghyun inside and just, so listen baby. Yeah, chills every time, honestly. So here's the CD. And I really love the vibe with the eyes and the mouth. And it was creepy but also very cute at the same time. That makes any sense. And here is the track list. I love Black Hole, and an encore is also a very pretty song. Oh to You. Woof Woof was a song that I was very confused by when I first listened to it, but then it kind of grew onto me and I love it right now. But at first I was like, where is this going? I just love this album, and I also love because this is the repackage of course, but I also love the Odd album. I just love Married to the Music as a song. That's my favorite album of SHINee.
So here we have one of my all-time favorite albums. When we decided to do this video, I was kind of firstly obviously looking at my olds, and BIGBANG is not one of my top groups anymore, but let's get into that when I open it. Packaging wise, I know there's a lot of people who box packaging is their favorite. Me personally, not really. And I love the whole do-it-yourself concept. Personally, I'm not creative in this sense. If you're watching on Renee's channel, you know she's very creative. She loves this, but I still love this. It's really simplistic. I love that you have all the extra things in here, which I think it's really cool. The track list is the reason I chose this album, but let's talk about that. After that, we have this really simplistic. I mean, there's different versions. I feel like the version I got on random is the group version, which is the most simplistic. I think the member versions are actually, they chew themselves, and this one you should chew yourself, if that makes sense. Let's talk about the album, because honestly, fave. The reason I chose this album was, first of all, Big Bang is one of the very first groups that got me into K-pop. Renee is actually the friend that got me into K-pop. Yeah, I remember when I first met her, she was already into K-pop. I met her like 5 years ago. Oh my god, it's already been 5 years. And I remember her always going on BTS this, BTS that, and I was like, who is BTS? I remember her showing me the Dope music video and I was like, okay. But then she came to my house and she showed me BTS and I fell in love. And I remember me asking her, which groups should I look at next? And I remember one of the first groups she told me about were GOT7 and Big Bang. So I got into Big Bang because of her. I got into K-pop at the end of 2016. So this album came out right when I got into K-pop. I think that's a thing why I love this album so much. Also because literally every single song on this album is a bop. And every single song on this album is a title track, so I guess, I don't know. But I mean, when I listen to this album, I just think back of the time when I first got into K-pop. The time when I first got into K-pop, it was a whole new world. And I feel like that's something that you can never experience again, I guess. It was just a fun time to get to know so many new groups, so many new artists. I've loved music. I've been obsessed with music, groups, and etc. ever since I was young. This is the only Big Bang album I have, but I feel like this is definitely the album I just needed to have in my collection. So here we got the track list. I feel like Let's Dance is my favorite. I really love Let's Not Fall in Love. To be honest, when I first heard it, I was kind of about the song. Love it. Loser is my mom's favorite song. So I don't know, it still has a special place in my heart. Bang 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 is iconic. Like, you can't tell me you don't know Bang Bang Bang. Bang 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 is one of those songs everyone knows. Sober, I love so much. I really love We Like to Party. I remember people saying at that time that it was really Western, but like right now, like 4 years later, I feel like it's not Western at all. I feel like they're always amazing at producing songs. I could listen to If You on repeat for a whole year and not get tired of the song. Amazing. Like, GD is such an amazing producer and writer. Like, it's insane. This album, even though they're not one of my top favorite groups, special place in my heart. Like, special place in my heart. It brings me back to 2017 and the joy I had when I first got into K-pop.
One of my favorite K-pop bands is Day6, and this is my absolute favorite album of Day6. I really love this one because this one has the song I Need Somebody on this album. I love that song because the song means a lot to me. I hate these things. I hate seals like this. Things are sealed like this because I will wreck it. I will mess it up. Oh my god, please. Okay, we did it. Whew. The packaging, overall, I don't really like the seal. That's a downside to this album. I do really love this see-through card thing that JYP does a lot. I think they did something similar to albums of GOT7. I really like that. It just looks cool. Then I think here's the CD with also a seal. And then there's this card. There's more photo cards in this album, but I think I have some of them already on my wall. And then it also came with these bigger cards that there's one of each member, and they were supposed to be like this, but as you can see, I only have 2 members here because I have the other 3 up on my wall. Unfortunately, these didn't fit on my wall anymore, so I had to choose which one I was going to hang up on my wall. So I'm sorry, Dawoon, so sorry, Jay. And then there is this photo book, of course. I love that it's very big. It does take up a lot of space, but it's very nice and I like the black and white feel to it. I totally love this album and I love Day6 because they keep showing how much of a different range they have. They just do whatever they feel like, at least in my opinion. I have to be honest, I don't really love the new albums that they brought out as much as I did with this album and Sunrise, but maybe I'm just biased. I thought that this era was just it. Yeah, I totally love this album. I love them live, they're amazing. So yeah, that's the album.
So here we have another highly underrated group. This album, like, I was really contemplating if I would choose Dawn or their first mini album. So the first album is called Void. I don't know, Void will always have a special place in my heart, like always, because it was my first album. But if I look at the songs, I prefer this one. This album is perfection. Like, perfection is not even enough to describe it. I love the aesthetic of the font, like, look at them. I love these kind of color schemes. I Don't Know You. Oh my god, that song. You should listen to it. I feel like a lot of people don't know I Don't Know You. It's my favorite The Rose song. And She's in the Rain is my favorite title track. Take Me Down. Obsessed. Like, I guess you can kind of see why I chose this album. Let me talk about it. The Rose is one of those... It stays missing, don't mind that. The Rose is one of those groups that is also super underrated. And I don't get it. Like, they're one of the best K-bands. Obviously, they're not really a K-pop group. They're more a band. Oh my god, I remember going to their concert. Once again, I dragged Renee to it. I said, oh my god, I love The Rose, you should come with me. And she came with me, became a fan. And once again, I got her into it. Like, it's so funny that she got me into K-pop in the first place. And then I got her into so many other groups. Love that. I feel like my channel really, like, made me so multi-fandom. Like, so multi-fandom. But I'm not talking about them. Let's talk about them. I remember going to their concert. I feel like it's one of my first concerts, because the first concert I ever got to was Card. And then after that, it was G-Dragon. I feel like this was the third concert I went to. And the second I went to with Renee, which we traveled to Belgium, which the concert itself was horrible experience. Like, I don't know, they couldn't organize anything. It was horrible. But the concert itself, like the show, 10 out of 10. Like, seriously, I fell in love with them. Wusong, like, he's my bias. Love him so much, but I love every single member. I personally love concerts from smaller groups because they feel more intimate. And every time I saw them, because I have seen them again last year with my mom, which also now loves them after the concert. I don't know. Concerts, like I said, can really make you fall in love with the group even more. And that definitely happened to me. Yeah, I love them. I remember seeing Sorry for the very first time, like the week it came out, and falling in love with them. And I don't think I ever stopped loving them ever since I saw them for the first time. Like, this is my favorite concert, by the way. This one is okay, but I just love the right concept. I Don't Know You. Like, check it out, guys. It's amazing. Like, She's in the Rain also. Sadly, the music video was deleted, but the message of the song is so good. Like, their songs are so... I don't know. They have a great message. And I love that in the group. They have so many unreleased tracks also. Like, both the times I saw them in concert, they did songs they haven't even released on albums yet. Which, I like that. I love it. A group that is building themselves up. I just chose albums I could listen to on full. Like, from beginning to end, I could listen to them and not get bored. And this is one of those albums. I absolutely love this one. And I just love the aesthetic. Once again, it's a book packaging because I'm boring and I always choose book packaging. It just looks nice on the shelves. It looks clean. It's simple to look at. You can just flip through it. I love it.
Okay, moving on to Mamamoo. Oh my god, Mamamoo. I have fallen very deep into the bits of Mamamoo. I love their songs. This is the only album that I have, but I do really want to also maybe in the future buy Reality in Black because I love that album and I also really love this album. I got this from Dancing Dann on Christmas. I'm very thankful for that because I love this album. This whole comeback was just such a cool comeback. The track list. I also just love how Mamamoo is just like, oh, Koreans aren't supposed to be 10? Well, F that. We're just going to be 10. And oh, Koreans have to have a kind of body shape? No, we're just going to do it our way. And also the vocals on those girls, I mean, they're amazing, they're talented, they're just a mess because, I mean, have you seen some of their videos? Like outside of the music videos, they have such a special bond with each other and they're so funny, and I really just respect them as artists as well. I love them all individually and also just together. They're amazing, and I also really love that they almost all of them have tattoos, because I have a tattoo too, just one, but I really love their style to be honest. So yeah, and also picking a bias is very hard with Mamamoo because they're just all amazing. I was kind of switching between Moonpyo and Hasa, but they just keep wrecking each other, so I'm still not completely sure who is my bias in Mamamoo, but yeah, that's the album.
So then we go on to one of my favorite albums of all time, because they are one of my old groups, and it's Monsta X's The Connect Dejavu. I was kind of contemplating between a few albums because I do have every single album by them, which makes it a lot harder. But I decided to choose this one because this was the album that actually made me stan them. And I actually like this packaging. I like simple packaging. So it actually has a little pocket here which contains a mini poster, which this is not even the one. I put both of them in here. Oops. So it comes with one mini poster. Like the pink one is part of this one, which I love so much. I think it's really interesting. It's not a kind of packaging they have done before or have done ever since this one. So I do appreciate it a lot. So here we have the photo book. So yeah, let's talk about it. Why I chose this album is probably because, like all the other albums I have chosen as my favorites, I love every single song on this album, and this is probably the album I listen to most out of all my Monsta X album, which says a lot because I honestly listen to Monsta X a lot because they're one of my 3 old boy groups. I remember the very first song I ever heard of Monsta X. I feel like I've heard Hero before but didn't know it was Monsta X, and then someone in a group chat I used to be in, a K-pop group chat, said, oh my god, Monsta X had a comeback today, and it was beautiful. And I did like it, but I never really got more into them after hearing that. And then they came back with Dramarama, which I started loving that song so much, and I started becoming a fan of them, but not like stanning, you know? Like there's a kind of a difference. And then when Jealousy came out, I listened to this album, and right after Jealousy came out, they went on a world tour, the very first world tour to Europe. And I actually went to that concert with my friend Renee, which you're watching her channel right now. This is my favorite concert. Oh my god, I miss Wono. Sorry, this is not about Wono, obviously, but I mean, yeah. He's my bias. What was I talking about? We went to the concert and I was kind of new to them. This concert really showed me, yeah, Monsta X is a group I'm loving so much. They're becoming my olds. I love them so much. And when I got home after the concert, I remember the week after that, I listened to this album non-stop because all of the songs on here they did during the concert. And that's when I really started loving this album. And I don't know, this album just has a special place in my heart. I don't think it's my favorite packaging per se by them. I have pretty much basic packaging a lot of the times. Jealousy used to be like my top favorite. I remember when Shootout came out, that was the moment they became my ult, like the next album after this. So Jealousy is not per se my favorite title track anymore, but it's still up there. Destroyer, I remember telling my friend, oh my god, I love this song during the concert. So this was one of the songs I really got into even before the concert. Praising Love, Love. Lost in a Dream is, oh my god, I can't even tell you how much I always replay Keon's part in that song. Favorite, like that clip they had of him singing it a cappella. His voice, stunning. Special is also one of my favorite songs. Like honestly, this whole album, I can never stop talking about them in a positive way. They've endured so much these last 6 months, and I just wanna give them all my love, always.
And then, last but not least, my favorite BTS album, and to be honest, it was so hard to choose from the albums because, to be fair, BTS doesn't have a bad album. They just don't exist. It was very hard for me to choose because I love each and every one of the albums for different reasons as well. So with pain in my heart because I had to choose one, I choose The Young Forever. First of all, I love this whole image, and even though you can barely see them because look how far away they are. The vibe is just cool. I have a poster version of this. It came with the album and it's hanging up on my wall, and I had to change a few posters through my years of being a K-pop fan because I have to make room for new posters and stuff like that. But this poster will remain on my wall forever because it's such a cool look. It's such a cool poster, and I even hand painted this very image onto my kalimba, my instrument. Something that makes me kind of feel uneasy is the fact that it lays like this and then you see the back when you pull it out. I can live with it, but it doesn't make sense to me. I pulled a Jimin. I'm going to keep you safe here. I just love this album, and the reason why I chose this album is because I'm not sure if this was my first comeback with BTS, but it is one of my first comebacks with BTS, definitely. I think my first comeback with BTS was Beautiful Time in Life Part 2. I think Run was my first era. This album has all the songs on it that I listened to when I first started standing BTS, so that's why it has a special place in my heart, and I really love the songs. And the most beautiful moment in life is just that era. You know what I mean? It's just the whole package of all the songs is just, it fits together so well, and the songs also have a lot of meaning, special meaning to me. And also I love this photo shoot, and I remember when I first saw concept photos and they showed a picture of all the seven members, and I was like, wait, but where's Jin? and then he had blonde hair, and I was just shook to the core. At first I had to really get used to blonde Jin, but then Fire came out. He just slayed me. I was on the floor. When Fire came out, I think I felt kind of empty and defeated for 2 weeks straight, because that's what good music videos do to you. You just feel defeated. You're like, okay, well, this happened. I can't do anything about this, but just keep watching it. So yeah, that was basically my experience with seeing Fire for the first time. He just looks so handsome. Blonde Jin is just... Oh. I still don't know who my bias is, by the way. I've changed my bias about 4 or 5 times. For the record, I love them all. I love all 7 of them, and they're all so cute and so charming and so handsome and so sweet in different ways. I just love them for all of their different personalities that they have. I just love Fee with red hair, by the way. Or is it orange? Well, it was orangey red, kind of. And also, I don't really mind this look, this hair look on RM. I mean, people were making a lot of fun about it. He can just pull off anything. I mean, the songs that I love the most, I Need You will always have a special place in my heart. Dope is my first music video that I ever saw from BTS, so that will always have a special place in my heart. Fire is just amazing, and here are the CDs. I love this album, and it was very hard to choose because I don't have all the albums, by the way, because my wallet won't allow it. It was very hard for me to choose between this album and Wings, because Wings is also one of my favorite albums, and the whole era was just so cool. The way that they made the album with the solos into it was just so new to me, and I have listened to that album for such a long time, and I had the song Blood, Sweat and Tears in my head, stuck in my head for 4 months straight. It was such a good album, and yeah, that's why it was very hard for me to choose, but in the end I chose this one because it has Dope in it, and Dope has a special place in my heart since that's the song that got me started standing BTS, So
here we got one of my all-time #1 favorite albums in the entire world. Like, The War is definitely my favorite album by far, by EXO. I only have one version, I will get the other versions, but to be honest, this one is my favorite, and also the photo cards are my favorites. But yeah, this album, when doing this video, I kind of noticed kind of a trend. Like, I don't like his hair, to be honest. I'm kind of noticing a trend, which is I mainly choose albums which were the first albums I ever heard. I got into K-pop at the end of 2016, January 2017 kinda, and this was the first comeback in 2017. Like, Coco Bop came out in 2017, so I guess that's why I love this album so much. I was also contemplating to put Exodus as my favorite album, because honestly, full of bops. But I decided to just go for this album. Honestly, I also really love the Tempo album. I think this one is probably my favorite because I listened to it this week actually. And it's one of those albums where I don't want to skip any song. Every single song on this album, 10 out of 10. Even though Coco Bop is not my favorite title track by them, the B-sides are so amazing. This is one of those albums where I prefer B-sides over the title track. Like The Eve, still my favorite B-side to this date, along with obviously El Dorado. Yeah, El Dorado and The Eve are probably my favorite B-sides. I do like this concept. A lot of people hate Baekhyun's hair. I love it. My favorite hair. I'm weird. Whatever. Xiumin? Yes. He slays this comeback. He looks so good. I am SM trash, by the way. I don't know if you know this. NCT is my old group. Girls' Generation is my old group. Like, EXO is kind of my old group. Like, I'm SM trash. Oh my god, Baekhyun. He's my bias. He has been my bias ever since, like, I saw one video and I was like, you are my bias. It has never changed, to be honest. But Suho though. Suho has been bias wrecking me. He was never one of my top biases and now he's like, hello, I'm Suho. Yeah, The Eve. The Eve, 10 out of 10. Like, Coco Bop is okay. I do listen to it a lot though, so. What You Do is so definitely my second favorite on the album. It slaps. Like, it's so good. Forever, fave. Diamond was actually one of the first songs I absolutely loved. Touch It, I love. You cannot tell me this is not a great album. This is literally one of my all-time top favorite albums I listen to the most. This album is just amazing. I did trade for Baekhyun, so I have Baekhyun's red mullet hair. Love it so much. I just am in love with this album. It's definitely up there in my top. I would probably put it right at the top of my favorite albums. So yeah, just quickly before I sign off, I want to thank you so much, Renee, for doing this collab with me. It's so fun. Let's do a lot of these in the future. Bye, thank you.
So that's the last album for this video. If you want to see the other 5 artists or 5 albums that I chose out, and also if you want to watch the other 5 artists that Dancing Dan chose out, go watch the video on his channel. And I hope you like this concept. I hope you like this video. Stay hydrated, stay tuned, and until my next video, bye!